to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry I haven't made any videos for ages. I've been a very busy girl, which is one of the reasons that I'm making this video. It's about the PT course that I've been doing for the past couple months. I thought I'd make this kind of video because I think this would be really valuable for a lot of people. I've had a lot of messages on my Instagram, which I'm gonna put here now, asking about the course that I've done, because a lot of people are interested in doing personal training courses, and I definitely would have liked to have more information when I was looking out for a personal training course. I'm going to tell you all about the course that I did. Obviously it's all from my own experience based off of where I did it. So I want to structure the video in like a specific way just to help us out. So I'm going to just kind of tell you about the course that I did specifically. Then I'm going to go into pros and cons about the course that I did specifically, but also just about like a personal training course in general. And then I'm going to do some questions that I was asked on my Instagram. So that's how the video is going to go. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you find it useful, and here we go. Okay, so the course that I did was with a company called Premier Global, and the course that I did was a level 2 and 3 diploma in personal training. So I paid for it as a big package. You can do them separately. You can't really do level 3 without completing your level 2, but you can do them at separate times. But I wanted to get the whole thing done, so at the very end I was a personal trainer qualified, which I am by the way now. I don't know if I said that, but I'm qualified right now. Overall, the course was a 6-week course. First 3 weeks was level 2, which is the gym instructing course, and then the last 3 weeks were level 3, which is the personal training course. So within each 3-week blocks, you would have 5 days study at the base wherever you were. So mine was in Manchester, it was at Trafford at the DW Sports Fitness place there, and then the other days within the 3 weeks were at home study, and you were expected to do like a 9 to 5 study, and it is classed as a full-time course. So in that time when you're at home, you're supposed to be doing your revising, you're supposed to be doing your assignments, you're supposed to be just like learning lots of things. And even though you were at home, it was a full-time course. You probably couldn't really have a full-time job if you were doing this course. The tests that were involved in the course that I did, there were in level 2 and 3, there was about 6 to 8 written assignments, and you had to submit them online, or you could submit them handwritten. We also had 2 practical tests. One really wasn't that formal, the other one was very formal, and then we had 2 multiple choice exams, like I said, on both level 2 and 3. On both of them it was anatomy and physiology exam, and then in the very first one it was a principles of fitness exam, and on the second one it was a nutrition exam. Just gone for a muffin of you. Okay, so I'm going to get on to the costs of the course, because for a lot of people this is something that turns you away from doing it because it's such a big amount of money. So my course for the level 2 and 3 was £3,000. It seems like a lot of money, and yeah, it definitely is a lot of money, and I really wish I negotiated on price. I didn't really realise that you could negotiate on price. I thought, like, just as you go into a shop, if it says a coat's £50, the coat's £50. That's kind of how I saw it, but yeah, apparently you can negotiate on price, which is something that I found out when I was on my course. As I got closer to the people in my group, they come to tell me that they negotiated on price and got a lot less than me. So they paid around about £500 to £800 less than myself, and obviously that's a huge amount of money that I missed out on, but I had no idea. And the people on the phone can be quite pushy. Obviously they are being paid on commission, they're salespeople, they know what they're doing, and they got their way with me. So that's just how it goes. So I would, if you're watching this and you are going to be inquiring on prices, you be like really stern and hard and like pretend that you don't want the course. They'll knock some money off, because I wish I did that, but you know, I didn't. Also, there are different payments plans that you can do. You can pay it in full, which is what I did because I just wanted to get it out of the way. I am a postgraduate, so I have a lot of debts from university, which is a course completely unrelated to what I'm actually hoping to go on and do as my career. So I didn't want to have any more like debt or any more like money coming out of my wages. But obviously for a lot of people that might not be the best option. So with the course that I did, there were payment plans where you could pay weekly, monthly for however long until it was all paid off. So in the hours that we had when we were in like the actual centre, the things that we did kind of differed day to day. So we did a lot of like paperwork. We started some assignments in class as well, because some of the assignments could be a bit like complicated. So if we went home to complete them, we made sure that they were on the right track. We also did some theory work to do with like the exams that we had, because some of the theory stuff was a bit complicated, so we went over those in class rather than just going home and reading from a book. And then of course we did all the practical work in class as well, because you can't really do the practical work at home. You need to be in a gym, you need to be in a gym environment, and that's one thing I think if you're taking a personal training course, you want to have the course to be at least half of it like in class, like mine really, because you need to have that practical side down and dusted like that. I mean, especially if you're going to be a personal trainer, that's going to be a huge part of your career. So on both level 2 and 3 we were given these folders, and these had all of the information that we needed to complete the course. We were given 2 of these. I've got this one and then another one at home, and really they were kind of the only thing we were given. We had like a few online materials, but I wouldn't say they were very good, like PowerPoints, and other than that, that's all we were really given. And that I'm going to come on to later in the pros and cons is that for some people that might be really difficult to learn from, but they do have a lot of information in, and it is all you need to pass, if that makes sense. So if you've got this, realistically you should be able to pass because all the information's in here. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the pros and cons of the course. So the first pro is that, of course, at the end of it you are going to be qualified. There really isn't any way that you could do the course and then end up not being qualified unless you just decided to sack it off, really. Another pro for me, on my course, the 2 teachers that we had were amazing. And one was called Alex and one was called Peter, and they were super knowledgeable. They were great with practical, they were great with theory, like they just had so much knowledge. Like any question that we had, they could answer it perfectly. The course that I had specifically in Manchester with Premier Global, the teachers were absolutely incredible. Pro to the course that I did is that you get qualified quickly. You do it in 6 weeks, and if you don't have to resit anything, you are qualified within 6 weeks. A lot of courses out there can be up to 6 months, up to a year, and obviously that might suit someone's lifestyle. If you're a full-time job, maybe a full-time mum, full-time dad, whatever, that would be the best option for you. But in 6 weeks, realistically, you could be a qualified personal trainer and then go on to do whatever job you want to do. That's one of the selling points of the course, is that you are qualified within 6 weeks. Another pro, which is just a really small pro, something that didn't really matter to me much, is that with the course that I did with Premier Global, is there are options to do qualification add-ons. So you could do the level 3, complete your level 3, and then go on to do a few little other courses, which meant that you were qualified to do other few things. And if you just go on their website, you'll see all the kind of things that they do on there as well, and you can make little packages to save you some money. A really big pro, and this is one of the reasons that I went with Premier Global, is out of all of the bodies that you can get your level 2 and 3 from, Premier Global is massively established and recognised within so many like gyms and just so many companies who look for having a personal training qualification. Pretty much every gym, I think it is every gym in the UK, good gym name like Pure Gym, Easy Gym, they will take you on if they know you're from Premier Global. So having a qualification from Premier Global definitely made you more appealing to employers, just because they see it as a really good body to get your qualification from. Boom. Now on to cons. Don't like to dwell too much on cons, but there definitely are some with the course that I did. Firstly, it's kind of like one of the pros, but the fact that it was so condensed within 6 weeks. Yes, you could be qualified within 6 weeks, but it was very full on. And some would say, and some would argue, that you can't really learn that much in 6 weeks. Like, you can't really let it all sink in. And I definitely see the argument for that. The things that I've learned, I'm definitely going to have to go over, and that's just something that I'm going to personally put my time and my effort into. You don't have much time to be able to do all the assignments, and you know, it's just very crammed in to revise for your exams and to get ready for your practical work as well. It's definitely something to consider if you need to like not be so stressed with all of that kind of stuff. Another con is that the woman that sold me the course was very pushy. The course provider has like a base hub and they sell it for all over the country, and it really put like a bad taste in my mouth of how she was with me about it. But I still did the course, and I still really enjoyed the course. But it's definitely something that you've just got to be aware of, is that no matter who you contact, they are going to try and push paying to be on their courses. They're going to be sending you emails, they're going to be calling you up a lot. That is just part of it, sadly. One of the biggest cons, I think, is something that I mentioned earlier, is it really doesn't consider what kind of learner you are. It literally gives you this book. So for example, all of the pages in this book are just words like this, just so many words. And for a lot of people, that is really difficult to learn off. You need to be able to take the information out and like do something with it. I can learn like that to an extent, but only so far can it really go. I'm a very visual learner. I like speaking, I like talking and being in discussions and stuff like that. So with it being at home as well, I wasn't in that environment. The quality of my learning was a lot more enriched when I was actually there with everyone on my course. It just didn't give different kinds of learning resources that I think it definitely could have provided for, again, for different kind of learners, or just giving you options in general. It definitely lacked on that side of it. Okay, so I've got a few questions from Instagram that I really want to answer. Firstly, was it fun? I absolutely loved to do my course. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I've got a massive interest in fitness. I enjoy learning about things anyway. People on my course made it really fun as well. The group that I had was amazing. We had, honestly, there was times on my course when I was in fits of laughter, like I was crying laughter. So I could not have asked for a better group either. So yeah, I had loads of fun on my course. This one says, do you have to already be in good shape when starting the course, or is it more theory? So I think firstly, it definitely depends on what you're wanting to do after completing the course. Everyone on my course was there for different reasons. Some were there wanting to be personal trainers, some were there who were already football coaches, but they just wanted to have a little bit more knowledge and just say that I've got this qualification. You know, it depends what you want to do. Obviously there's practical involved in the course, so you want to be able to perform certain things. You need to be able to perform certain things to hit the practical assessments and to be able to demonstrate different moves and things like that. But you don't need to be a bodybuilder. I was terrified I was going to walk into the room on the first day and it be full of 15 really big buff men, and that wasn't the case at all. Everyone was super different. Everyone was there for different reasons. Everyone had loads of different knowledge already, so only to an extent, but you don't need to be like, you know, really big. Do I feel more educated? Yeah, definitely, because I learned things I didn't know about before, especially to do with the anatomy side of things, and being able to relate that kind of side of it to exercise is obviously super beneficial. I just know that I'm more educated in general now, because when I take myself to the gym, I think about everything so much more. Like, why am I doing this? What's this actually doing to this part of my body? What's, you know, what's going to be the benefit of this? What's going to be could potentially be the risks of this? Like, all of those kind of things really have opened my eyes up to like just fitness in general. And I definitely think you can build up a huge amount of knowledge by not taking a qualification, but it definitely gives you specific knowledge that you need to know. If you know, if you're going to be a personal trainer, they want you to know specific information, so no doubt you are going to build more knowledge around fitness and the body and what it's capable of and different goals. The last question I have is, do I feel confident to train somebody else? And I would say yes, but to an extent. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I definitely think qualification is one thing, but you know, if you're going to be a personal trainer, one of the best ways that you can learn is actually by going out and training somebody. So I think you kind of have to build your knowledge even further on the job as you go. There's a lot of jobs out there that are very similar to this, that you kind of need to be out there doing it to build up extra knowledge. So yeah, I do feel confident to train somebody, and I have trained a few people since. I think it's definitely something that as I go along, it's only going to get better and better, and I'm obviously going to get more confident as I go along. So I really hope that this covers kind of like a few things that people wanted to know. If you've got any other questions, put them in the comments and I'll happily reply to them. And I hope this helps people decide what they want to do in future. So good luck to anyone who is taking a course or is on a course, like now or in the future is going to be on a course. And I will see you in my next video, which I have no idea when it's going to be, because clearly I'm really good at uploading all the time.